In fact, IF jets were scrambled after information was received. IF now says that they are following it, maintaining a safe distance as per the SOPs. However, the aircraft was allowed to continue on its flight onwards China after Iranian agencies asked India to disregard the threat. This is the statement that's come out of the Indian Air Force. As per sources, we are also being told that India continues to follow this particular aircraft very, very closely till the time it had left the Indian airspace as well. My colleague Akash is through with us on the broadcast. Akash, finally a statement there by the Indian Air Force claiming that the Iranian authorities in fact asked India to disregard this entire threat.
Exactly, and this is giving much of clarity as of now, Griha, because everyone was looking for clarity, and as far as this statement is concerned, so it is clearly saying that this aircraft was offered an option to land in Jaipur and then at Chandigarh as well. And Indian Air Force fighter aircraft were scrambled, which followed the aircraft at the safest distance. Means all the SOPs were followed. But later it was said that we need to disregard the particular bomb scare, and that was the only time after which, this aircraft was finally out of the Indian airspace. But Indian Air Force giving a lot of clarity on the whole issue, where it has been told that, yes, this was very much true that Indian Air Force was on high alert, and, they in fact followed the particular airplane at the safest distance and maintaining all their standing operating procedures and all their protocols. They maintained, and in fact the pilot was given, because we know this for a fact that initially this particular plane was asking for landing at Delhi airport, but it was denied, and in fact it was given an option to land at either Jaipur or at Chandigarh. But the pilot did not agree to these terms, and he continued using our airspace. And Indian Air Force at that point in time scrambled, and the fighter planes, in fact, they got ready for the possible aerial emergency. And later, the information was received from Tehran that we need to discard the particular scare. And after that only, we got some sort of relief. And as of now, this particular plane is out of Indian airspace. This is what we are learning here.
All right, Akash, thank you so much for putting this to perspective. Finally, have that statement by the Indian Air Force. My colleague Poonam is also joining us on the broadcast. Poonam, the fact that there is some sort of clarity that it was Tehran that had asked the Indian authorities to disregard this entire threat and let the flight go ahead with the chosen trajectory on to China, of course, really answers some bit of the questions that we have. However, still, there is no clarity on why the insistence on landing in the national capital.
Absolutely, because as far as the facts that we have put forward so far for our viewers, this really goes on to confirm that it was transitioning in Indian airspace and that IF fighter jets were scrambled to monitor and track it. That is the information that we've been getting for our viewers up until now. The new information now is that Jaipur was not the only option that was given to this particular flight to land. Chandigarh was another option that was given, but they refused to land there. They only wanted to land in the national capital. However, the pilot declared his unwillingness to divert. So perhaps they were on the flight path to Delhi or onwards, which is why he refused to go to either Jaipur and Chandigarh. But IF confirming that there was an intimation that was received from Tehran to disregard this particular bomb scare, which is why it was allowed to continue its journey over the Indian airspace and then towards its destination in China. All actions taken by the IF as per the laid down procedure is what the Air Force goes on to confirm, jointly with the Ministry of Civil Aviation and the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security as well. So not just the IAF, but the centre also was very, very closely monitoring the Civil Aviation Ministry, keeping a close watch on what exactly was transpiring for those 2 hours perhaps when this particular passenger flight was in the Indian airspace. The aircraft was under close radar surveillance by the Air Force throughout the Indian airspace. That's the confirmation that has come to the fore from the IAF, and we do know that as we speak, the flight is well out of the Indian airspace, perhaps to land at its destination in China in about an hour or so.
So, Poonam,